Alright, so today is the day that my seed starts go out into the raised bed garden. I'll give you guys an update on the seeds I planted directly in the ground. I think my last video was on that. And I would say 90% of the seeds came up. In my okra bed, I had 16 seeds planted. I only planted one seed per spot. And I had 15 of the 16 seeds come up. And those were the Baker Creek seeds. So let me give you guys a look at what my seed starts look like. This is eggplants, peppers, zucchini, squash, and yeah, I think that's all of them. So let me show you guys what those look like. All right, so these are the seeds I started inside about 2 months ago, I guess. You have all the peppers. Over here is my squash, eggplant in the back, and all the peppers in this box. And then my cayenne peppers are here. I've cut them back a few times to stop them from putting on flowers. So I'll probably cut them back a couple more times, maybe once I have them in the ground for a little bit. But the process I used to harden these off to come outside is we had a few overcast days the last 2 or 3 days. So the first day I left them outside in the shade for about 3 hours. And then the next day I left them out probably about 10 hours. And then we had one more overcast day where I left them out all day. And that seemed to do really well. Today we had pretty good sun, and I've left them out since 9 o'clock this morning. And it's 4:30, 5 o'clock right now. And I haven't seen anything bad about them. So we're going to get these in the garden. And I'll show you guys what I'm going to do to prep my beds. Alright, so my beds are mostly prepped. They're not completely smoothed out how I would like them, but I'm going to take a garden rake and I'll rake them as flat as I can get it. I'll probably still leave them turtle-backed a little bit just so the water won't pile up in one little spot. But I'll get them raked out and then we'll go through and plant. I need to go grab my list on where I had planned on putting each one of these. All right, now that that's smoothed out a little bit better, it's still not perfect, but it'll work. I'm going to show you guys the list of how I'm going to plant these. So this is the list that I made when I started my seeds. So I listed out all the beds I had, and then I started with the corn, okra, and beans. I knew I wanted a 4x4 of okra and beans, and then I wanted corn somewhere in there as well. Now I ended up with 2 4x8 beds that the plants will be planting in today. So I have all the peppers, and then I have Carolina Reapers and eggplants and squash. So I think I'm going to change out the eggplant and squash to replace the cayenne peppers and the ghost peppers. Put all my real hot peppers in one bed, and then everything else in the other. And then down here you can kind of see the total of what I'm looking at. Now I need the Carolina Reapers, ghost peppers, cayennes to put in my pickled quail eggs, which is why I'm leaning heavier towards that. I don't really eat a whole lot of vegetables. I eat a lot of okra and beans, and then hopefully this year some squash, but I don't really grow tomatoes or cucumbers. I don't really eat any of those. Alright, so this is kind of what I'm planning. Down here you can see I have my layout with my little hand shovel, and then I have my squash, my eggplant, my banana peppers, my jalapeno peppers. Then if we come over here to the other 4x8, we have the cayenne peppers. We have, which ones are those? Oh yeah, ghost peppers, and then the 4 Carolina Reapers. So each spot has a 2x2 square for the plants, and we'll go ahead, get these planted, and then give them a really good watering once everything's in. My seed starts could use some water as well, so that'll work out pretty good. Alright, so I'm done planting all the stuff in the new 4x8s, all the peppers, squash, eggplant. So I told you guys I'd show you what my seed starts look like that I put in the ground. So we'll get a walk through those real quick, and then we'll call it good for today. Alright, so this is my first bed, and this is where I planted the bush beans. You can see that most of them are looking pretty good. I had one right in front of the camera here that doesn't look great, and there's one all the way in the back that looks like something ate all the leaves off of it. But overall these are looking pretty good, and once we get some more water to them here soon, we'll be looking all right. And then if we walk over to the next 4x8, this is the okra. Like I said, I planted 4x4, one in each square foot, and that seemed to work out well for me last year. And every single seed sprouted of the 16 except the one right here. So I replanted one more seed here, and we'll see if we can get 16 plants, and that'll be plenty for me this year. So this is the pepper garden. We'll have all the peppers in here. They're all planted up. Found a lot of earthworms while I was going through there. And this is the corn. So a lot of the corn is sprouted. You can see. I did plant these about 1 per square foot. I had 3-ish rows. Some of them washed out in a hard rain, so I replanted, so they're kind of crooked. But I tried for 1 per square foot, and only 3 rows instead of 4 in this 4x6 bed. And the last thing I did recently was plant my flower garden. I put a bunch of seeds down, and it looks like a lot of them are sprouting already. And you can, I don't know how well the camera's picking it up, but you can see a whole bunch of seeds that has started sprouting. So I think I hit the timing right this year. In the years past, I went in a little bit too early. I get a little too excited, and it doesn't turn out very well. It just takes them longer to come up. But this is the garden this year, and we'll get you guys an update here in a few weeks, see how everything's going. Alright, so this is the water going. I don't mind the overspray. I'll eventually mulch everything or put wood chips down in between all the beds once I make sure my watering won't come undone. But we'll let this run for, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. Bruce. Oh, Bruce was supervisor today.